Hi there, and thank you so much for purchasing the extended reading for the Twin Flame Water Signs August reading. Now, I've shuffled your cards and I've laid them all out, and I'm looking at the future energy here. It's very apparent that the masculine is keeping a secret from the feminine energy, and that will be for your future. For my feminine energy for the future, you're doing a lot of thinking about the King of Cups in the reverse. So when this comes out, it could be that you feel as though you've lost your other half because this is a water sign reading. But when the King of Cups comes out in the reverse, this is someone who is moody, withdrawn. You could be feeling as though the person you are dealing with is a cheater. This could also be you feeling as though you have been put in situations that led to affairs, because with this King of Pentacles in the reverse, this can talk about the possibility of the person that you want being in a relationship already and them wanting to step outside of that relationship to be with you. So it could be very well that you are thinking that this person is dealing with someone else. Now we have the High Priestess energy coming out multiple times throughout this reading. So I just want you to be mindful of that if you are a divine feminine, because the Empress is the energy for the future, and that's coming out in the reverse. So what I'm seeing is there's the opportunity to forgive your masculine, but it doesn't look as though it's going to go the way you want it to, because he's still holding something back from you. The blockage to this reconciliation is the Magician in the reverse. So that talks about manipulation, and we have overcompensating coming through. So this could be him coming in and telling you that things are different or that he's changed. He could be hiding the fact that he's gone off and done something else with someone else. Those are could be different situations for all of you. But with that Five of Wands coming out in the public reading, that could speak to him dating other people or going out to see what he can see. We do have the Fool's energy though, because the Magician is actually a blockage. So we go back to the energy of the Fool. And this talks about wanting to come back very quickly and make things work. But the hard part is there doesn't seem to be a plan in place for how to make that work. And for some of you, if your masculine isn't in a relationship, it could just be that he's leading you to believe that he has an idea of what he wants or how he can fix the situation, when in reality, he does not. Now, feminine energy for the future actions, we have the Tower in the reverse. So this goes back to speak of the energy of the devil, but it also talks about you trying to avoid a disaster in a lot of ways because you feel like something is still very toxic. I feel like if you do forgive your masculine in the next few weeks, you are going to be on shaky ground because you're being called to really trust your intuition. So for you feminine, you may decide that you just want to be friends with your masculine, but that you're not ready to give to this connection emotionally. Now, masculine energy is coming through as the High Priestess for thoughts and feelings. So this is the energy of being secretive. Let's pull a card to see what that's about. Okay, so thankfully this all looks actually pretty good. It looks more like your masculine is not telling you the whole truth about what he wants. This is looking like he'd like to have an opportunity at a second chance, and he's having a really hard time moving on from you. He's hoping that you will forgive him for his actions, but with this coming through, it says, I'm afraid you don't want me. And then we also have, I have something to tell you, and it's in the reverse. So that's him not telling you, right? Again, how much he really does want this. And so that too could speak to that Empress energy in the reverse and overcompensating, where he's acting like he doesn't care as much as he does. Now, future actions for our masculine energy is the Knight of Wands and the Four of Wands. So that's also very good, because this looks like he would try to move things forward. The only hard part about the Four of Wands energy is that sometimes this can feel like a very temporary situation, because this talks about something that happens, but it only happens for a short period of time. It does speak to stability though, and with the King of Pentacles combined, it looks as though your masculine could be moving house or wanting to move in with you. Tell me more about that. wanting to move a situation forward in a way that's not just sexual, but actually has a solid basis to it. The issue, though, is I don't feel like he's communicating that to you. Your masculine may be the kind of person, though, that really tries to show you rather than tell you. And so maybe that's why for you, feminine, you're feeling as though your masculine's keeping something from you, or you just don't really feel the love, because it seems like the kind of masculine you're dealing with is not a very verbal person. Now, the advice for my feminine energy is the 5 of Wands. And we had secrets coming out. Now, feminine, we have, I'm tired of trying. Don't you feel what I feel? I feel disconnected from you. And then in the reverse, I can't do this again, not like this. So I feel like you really do want to give this a try, because this actually came out in the reverse. But the hard part is you're having a really hard time figuring out how your masculine energy will be feeling over the next few weeks, for the simple fact that he's not really telling you, right? This is somebody who has a really hard time opening up and telling you what's on their mind. Your advice in dealing with this is the 5 of Wands. So tell me about that. 8 of Cups, Queen of Swords, and the Empress. 10 of Cups. All right. So this is, you're going to have to do some real digging, I feel like, when it comes to this person, because I don't want to say they're secretive, but I think this is somebody who is incredibly withdrawn to the point of making you feel like they don't care. When they do this, it also triggers you because it makes you feel like you can't trust them, or that they'll leave at the drop of a hat. So this is you having to figure out if you can leave the past behind when it comes to this person. This is also, there's something about this person's energy. And like I said, it could be that they remind you of a parent you had, but they could also remind you of an ex-partner. And I feel like whoever this person is that was in your past, the spirit is trying to tell you that you know more now than you did when you dealt with that past energy, or you were betrayed by that past person. You're not the same person that you used to be. So you don't need to keep making sacrifices or feeling like you need to hold your tongue. There's something here about feeling like you have to give in or concede to what other people want to be recognized, rather than being able to stand your ground and really hold out for what you want. So this is saying you may need to examine your past and look at things that are keeping you from feeling like you can speak your piece, or like you know your worth in a situation. Because I do see you wanting to try this again. But the interesting part is, if you can follow this advice, you would actually manifest a different version of your divine masculine, is what I'm seeing here. And it seems as though you already have begun to manifest a different version of him. Because even if he's not necessarily speaking to you and telling you what he wants, it does look like there will be action here, right? That could lead to a commitment. So this is you really standing your ground and speaking your piece, and then waiting until the situation is ripe in the way that you want it before you commit to this person. It's also saying that this is something that it's almost like for this to move forward, you're going to have to pull back and let them come to you or do the work, because I feel like you've been one of the only people showing up in this connection for a long time. And so rather than you go after them or meet them even halfway, this really is talking about you pulling back and allowing them to come to you. Because I think when this person comes back into your life, it's very easy to kind of assume the position where you go back to the role of becoming the caretaker. And this is asking you not to do that. Perhaps you had to be a caregiver for someone else in your life, and so that's your love language. But this is saying that that has the capacity to push you in situations that you don't want to be in and create a dynamic that you don't want in this situation. And it looks as though you've manifested a new version of your person, because they're coming in and saying, I feel your pain. So they've actually felt how they've made you feel. New love is coming out in the reverse with Page of Swords reversed. So masculine, I feel like, is spying on the feminine for our water sign reading. Masculine could be watching feminine move further away from this connection. This is also talking about the masculine not wanting to be with new people, even if it may seem as though that is the case. I think this masculine energy has a way of always keeping you guessing because they're so emotionally removed, or they're not good at speaking their truth. I'm just looking here. But I do see them working to try to cut out some of that behavior. And that goes back to environment. There's something about your person's energy where they either really lost someone that they cared about, or they went through a really bad breakup. For some of you, your person has been through a divorce that really disrupted the harmony of their lives. They need to come to clarity about why that situation happened in their life, and I feel like they're working on that right now. Now, the advice for the masculine energy is the Hierophant in the reverse. And so when that comes out, it talks about what kind of family situations or situations have you been in for you masculine that gave you ideas about life or love or family that may not be serving you, right? For some of you, you are married, and the person that you are with is not the divine feminine. And the advice here is to get a separation. For others of you who are single, this is talking about you really veering away from your environment or other people's expectations and standing in your power. This is you not needing validation from the people around you about what you should be doing with your life or your relationships. Now, the reason that the advice is given is because you will lose the opportunity to be with your twin if you don't start building a life for yourself that's in alignment with what you want. There's an energy of feeling the need to really satisfy other people or validate yourself based on what your friends and family think. And the Hierophant in the reverse is asking you to question this. When people are giving you advice, take a look at their life. Are they in a place to be able to give that advice or not? If their life is a complete disaster, it's very possible that even if they mean well, they honestly don't know what the best thing is for you in your relationships. This is saying you may have to break away from the family structures that you're used to, because in all honesty, it looks as though they may not be healthy. Now, for you masculine, you've either been divorced or you've been through a painful separation, or you fear a separation because you watched your parents separate, right? And this is saying that it's now time to address that because you're not willing to build with anyone based on the fact that you're so afraid of what the ending will look like. You don't start anything new. The issue, though, is that if you don't ever start anything new, you fail before you start, right? Now, if you can follow that advice, the outcome will change to the Four of Swords in the reverse with memories in the past in the reverse. So this is good because this means that this is actually, rather than you looking back at this relationship as a distant memory, this is something you would have an opportunity to revisit. This is talking about going through all of the things that really have bothered you and learning how to let them go, because there's an energy of ruminating on all the things that could go wrong. This is you not letting your fears debilitate you to the point that you're passing up good opportunities and really putting an end to that way of life, right? Now, for the feminine, this may have to do with you looking at your own past and deciding what to leave behind and then closing that chapter in your life. But I feel like it mirrors for the masculine too, because they need to do the same thing. I just think the dynamic is a little different, right? Now, Four of Swords in the reverse, when this comes out, this talks about being able to return to someone to really put an end to the things that have been broken. You may not be giving all these like old fears a second chance, because that's allowing you to close that chapter of your life, but also that chapter of your relationship and be able to really start something fresh. Now, I'm going to pull you some advice oracle cards. So give me one for my feminine viewers, please. And give me one for my masculine viewers. All right. So feminine, we have blessings. Count your blessings. A grateful heart attracts more joy, love, and prosperity. Now, part of this, it's almost like I'm trying to figure out how to describe what I see, because for you, feminine, it's the energy of you expecting your person to always be the same and not change. And so it's almost like that's what you keep putting out in the world, and that's what you keep attracting. It's time for you to start seeing your partner through your eyes of faith and believing that this can really happen, right? And I feel like that's why you got the advice that you got, is the 5 of Wands and the 3 of Wands. Because it's almost like this is asking you to do something new and turn away from the drama and conflict that's been in this relationship and start trying to manifest this new version of your person. Now, for you masculine, we have opportunity. And that says release your ties to the past. When you let go of the old, you make room for the new, which is exactly what this is talking about. How it's time to get rid of some of those outdated beliefs that are not serving you, but they're also delaying the possibility of coming into union with your feminine. This has been your extended reading for August for water sign twin flames. I hope that it was helpful to you, and I will speak to you again soon. Bye.